So we all know that the story follows Venus and Serena Williams, two of tennis's greatest stars, most decorated athletes. Basically, it tells kind of how they came from, where they came from to how they became, these tennis pros. How did you get involved with this film?
Yes, well, I first auditioned for Venus, and then I later got called in to read for Landrea, the other sister of Venus and Serena. And then I was pinned for Landrea, and then the sisters said, we think she'd be good for Isha. So I went in, I read for Isha, and I did the table read at Warner Brothers and went to Westbrook, and I met the whole cast and crew, and then I booked the project, and it was so surreal and so exciting.
Wow, and the rest is history, right?
Yeah.
I did hear that the Williams family was very involved in the development of this story and the production. I mean, did you feel any added pressure of having them so present during this process?
I wouldn't say there was any added pressure, but I'd say it was a big help to have Miss Isha, the character who I play on set with me every day. It just helped to make the film more authentic, and she was there to chime in and make adjustments so that the story was accurate. And I feel like that was extremely helpful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, you have from direct from the source, right? So,
Yeah.
I mean, that's pressure, but it's also a really, really good thing. That they're so passionate about the movie and the film being told correctly. Sometimes, for me at least, I think that portraying a real person is so much more challenging than developing a fictional character, because you have really no room to experiment or to try new things. So how did you really embody that true essence of Isha, as well as to still make the role your own?
Yes, well, I was able to sit down before filming with Miss Isha, and we just had a one-on-one. We talked about the life in the 80s and the 90s, the music, the culture, the slang, and it was just really insightful because I am a 2000s baby. So I don't know much about the 80s and the 90s, but it was just pretty cool to learn about those decades and to learn about the family dynamic. I mean, she loved to read, and in the film, I have a book in my hand. I'm always reading. I'm always singing and dancing. And so I feel like I can relate to Miss Isha in a lot of ways. So I feel like it came out really authentically.
Yeah, and it brought those generations together, because that's still a common theme, even though it was like decades apart, right?
Yes.
What was your favorite thing about portraying Isha? It could be a little thing, it could be something you remember about the whole process. Like what really stands out for you?
My favorite thing is really her love for her sisters and how supportive she is. I have two big sisters, and I love them so much. And they're like a Miss Isha to me. They're so supportive of my dreams and of my career, and I try to be supportive to them too. And I feel like the common theme of sisterhood is really prevalent in this movie, and it's just a beautiful thing to see.
Wow. And I do have also a sister that I means the world to me. And I think that sister bond is something you can't really replace or really define. Right. So I actually really didn't even know much about their older sisters, really. So I'm really curious to see how this film is portraying that. And then speaking of other characters, Will Smith plays the title character of Richard Williams, which is the film is named after. What was it like for you to have such an experienced actor at the center of this film?
I mean, every day was a learning experience for me. I was just able to see Mr. Will show up to work, have all of his lines memorized, be ready to work and get down, but at the same time, be so kind and be so generous to other people and just go out of his way to make sure everyone felt comfortable. And it just really inspired me to be a great actor, but also a great person.
Wow. Yeah, I can imagine he's a great actor, and just the amount that he must bring, to this film, it's probably very, very inspiring. And the film itself, it means inspiration in general. I think that the Williams sisters define inspiration and motivation, and just to see their story from like their humble beginnings to how their father helped and bring their success, through. What does it mean to you to really be part of this and to inspire a lot of, like, I'm sure, young women and women of color and just the younger generation in general?
It means so much. It's really an honor, and I don't take this lightly. I mean, the story of the Williams family is a story that desperately needs to be told. And it's one that a lot of people don't know, including me. When I first got the call for this project, I did not know that they had other sisters and that their mother and their father were really their coach. And so it's important for everyone to see the importance of family and a team bond and just being there for each other.
Yeah. I mean, I think that I love these kind of stories, that are real, real life. And it really does bring a lot of just a feel good movie, that inspires you. And what do you, I guess, besides, all that is very, very important. And thank you for sharing that. What else do you want audience to take away from seeing this film, when they first see it? Is there something that you really hope that you're really excited for them to see?
Yeah, I'm really excited for them to see all of the amazing tennis. I watched the film and I was like, oh my gosh, this looks so good. All of the matches, they're so real and authentic. And Venus and Serena, you could tell that, this was them. This is how they played too. So it was just amazing to watch the tennis. It's very thrilling.
Did you guys actually have to learn a bit of that, or do you play tennis before?
No, I actually don't play a lot of tennis. I mean, I love to play for fun, but Sanaya and Demi did train, and they had to play tennis every day for hours, and they did an amazing job.
Wow, I can imagine, because that part of it, sports in general too, I think it's like how it's portrayed in film. I'm excited to see it. So thank you for sharing that as well. So speaking of also inspiration, I heard that you started acting at the age of 2, which for me is just astonishing. I have a nephew who's 1. And you already have film credits like CSI, Young Sheldon, Mixed-ish, Good Trouble?
Yes.
Good Trouble. It's like such an impressive, and you're still very young. So, first of all, congratulations on that. And what advice would you give to, I guess, anybody in, the younger generations who want to get into acting, or anybody who maybe has a younger sibling, or even parents who have younger children who want to get into the acting industry?
Yeah, I definitely say go for it. If it's something that you want to try out, definitely get into it, get headshots. I did a lot of commercials when I was first starting, and those really helped me to see if I really wanted to do this or not. And then I moved into TV, and I learned that it was really a big commitment. And I wasn't able to do a lot of other things, but it was the one thing that I love to do. So I just enjoyed it, and I had so much fun. So I'd say if you love to do it, if it's fun to you, keep going. Don't quit, because it's going to pay off in the end.
Yes. And that's actually sound advice. Also just not forgetting that you're doing it for the fun of it, as a young child, as a young actor. I think that part shouldn't be lost. If it stops being fun, it's like you should really think about, is this something you want to pursue? So very sound advice. Is there any, you have, again, a lot of credits to your name. Is there any, I guess, current or past shows that you have watched or are currently watching that you would love to say, oh, I want to do a guest role in that, or I want to be part of that show for whatever reason it might be?
Yeah. There's a show, it's actually going off. It was by Ava DuVernay, called Queen Sugar. It's one of my favorite shows. It's just, they have such amazing writers, but I would have loved to have been on that show. I recently saw The Harder They Fall with Regina King, and I just keep talking about the film. It was so amazing. It was a little graphic, but it was amazing. I love 911. I've actually had the opportunity to be on 911, but I'd love to come back. Yes. It's a great show. It's super thrilling and very suspenseful. And yeah.
Well, putting it out there, because they said you're still young and you have a long career. So if anyone who watches this, pay attention. Yeah. So again, we're following you on social media, and social media is a big part, I think, of every day now, right? How important is it for you to be a part of social media, to connect with people and connect with fans, and just to let them know, what's going on?
Yeah, I feel like it's pretty important. Social media connects people around the world, which is so cool. We're blessed to have these smart devices that can, like our interview right now, you're probably in a different state, probably somewhere. Are you in California?
No, I'm in New Jersey, actually.
Yeah, see, this is
different time zones already.
That proves my point. But yeah, I like to stay on social media. I'm pretty active. I'm always on Instagram, whether I'm posting or just watching and scrolling on my feed. I love TikTok and Snapchat. And I mean, connecting with people who support you is really amazing because you're able to say thank you. You may never get to meet them, but you can tell them how much their support means to you. And I feel like that's awesome.
Yeah, and that forms that connection, you know, because how else would you do it, right?
Right.
I mean, this is such a big and wide platform of people, and I think even for us, like we love to have like to connect people with their fans and do these kind of interviews, and to have people, you know, just be part of it, because I think social media itself it's a kind of a love-hate relationship sometimes.
Yeah.
But it does also a lot of good, I think, and does keep the world connected. So we're happy that you're on it and we're following you there.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you would love to say to your fans and people that are fans of your work? Now's your time just to share out there with them.
Yeah, I like to say thank you to everyone for, you know, supporting me. I've had a long career. I'm still going. I'm still only 16. It feels weird to say that. But, you know, I've had a lot of people supporting me, and I feel like the support is what keeps me going. And like my parents, they've always encouraged me to do my dream, stick to acting, even when I wanted to, you know, quit because it was getting rough. I was tired of just losing and not booking, so many no's. They're like, this is what you're meant to do. I feel like you should just keep going. And I kept going, and I'm where I am today. So for anyone who's ever just, you know, even liked my post, I see it, and I just want to say thank you.